Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We are your TV necromancers, Laura Prince and Noah Houlihan. We've come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows to find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, which ones should just stay doomed. This is a podcast in which we'll analyze the history, the hype, and the aftermath of shows that ran only one season or only one episode. With me, as always, is TV's Noah Houlihan.
Your mom's actually very pretty.
Today we are doing Little Freaks from 2006.
Yes, Little Freaks. This is a pilot / proof of concept for a semi-superhero, superpower cartoon show.
Yes, so this was developed by Klasky Supo.
That's who I thought because of the YouTube name, yeah.
In 2006 for Nickelodeon.
Okay.
And would have logically fit into like an Oh Yeah Cartoons type anthology had it been picked up.
Kablam.
This would have been after Kablam.
Okay.
But this would have been similar to the initial pilot of Adventure Time.
Gotcha.
Which was around the same time period and did air as part of one of those anthology series, either Chalk Zone or Oh Yeah Cartoons.
Right. So we begin our adventure with narration.
Yes.
And I'm not really big on narration, but I understand that this is kind of a proof of concept, and this is the fastest way to be like, here's the backstory that's important, so we can get to the thing.
Yes.
There was an explosion at the toilet paper factory, which is a big building that is in the shape of a toilet.
Yes.
That gave 4 ordinary teens or preteens superpowers.
Yes, they have the mother of all secrets.
Yes, so Wayne has the gift of flight.
Yep.
Lila can glow.
Yes.
Sweeney can talk to
He
trees.
can commune with nature, yes.
And I missed the last guy's name who has X-ray vision.
So I thought it was Nick,
Yeah.
but the wiki I found said it was Macon.
Macon? Like making bacon?
Yeah, so I thought it was Nick when we heard it.
Okay. And the idea is there's like some really cool looking animation with these cool superhero looking people. And then it's all a bait and switch to say that these people aren't superheroes. They're just little freaks.
Yeah.
You might call them superheroes. Except their powers aren't really super. And the kids aren't actually heroes. They're more like freaks.
And the idea that, yes, they have these powers, that doesn't make them heroes, nor does it really make them cool. It is kind of a burden, and it's something you have to kind of figure out about yourself. You know, you feel a little different. This is a puberty metaphor. It's always a puberty metaphor.
Yes. And it's a very on-the-nose puberty metaphor as it goes throughout.
Yes.
So the next scene we get is Wayne's mother awakening her sons
Yes.
to clean their room, and it's 6 a.m.
Yes. As mentioned earlier by me, Wayne's mom is real hot for some reason.
Because cartoons in 2006.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the Hartman hips.
Oh, she got them Hartman hips. I'm going to bring that up again later.
So she's very much drawn in that design.
Yes.
So she awakens her sons at 6 a.m. to encourage them to clean their room. And by that I mean it needs to be so clean in here, if a piece of trash walked in, he'd die of loneliness.
Yeah. Then there's this weird joke of like, why's it got to be a boy piece of trash?
Yeah.
And I expect your room to be so clean, if a piece of trash walked in there, he'd die of loneliness.
Why's it always gotta be a boy piece of trash?
Which is so a filler joke. Mm-hmm. Often when writing a script, there will be times where it's like, so some stuff happens, we need a joke here, and then we'll move on.
And it's very much a little kid retort.
Yeah, it's not a great joke, but it's we need a joke here, what works type situation.
Yes, and since this is a pilot, it probably didn't feel the most important.
Yeah.
To cram in a joke. Wayne ends up on the roof because he's annoyed.
Yeah.
Now he can fly, so he's on the roof, and it turns out he is afraid of heights, and he hates being up on the roof.
Yes, and it also turns out that what makes him fly is being angry. So whenever he gets mad, he ends up flying. So it's like the Hulk, except it's flying instead of strength. There's also, like, a very easy don't fly off the handle joke that never gets made. Like, they never make that joke.
And so Sweeney helps by, like, encouraging a tree to help him get down.
Yes, so this is important. Sweeney doesn't like the other three.
He likes them, he just doesn't want to be seen with them.
Yeah, because they're not cool.
Yes.
So he cares greatly about his image. So he doesn't want to associate with these three, thus it hurts his image. But he has the most hidden of all of the powers.
Yeah.
Like, Wayne flies randomly. Layla glows, and glowing is like something you can very easily see. And she seems to have vague control over it.
Yeah.
Nakin has to wear goggles like Cyclops to not constantly see through, like, to not constantly be using his X-ray vision.
Yeah.
Sweeney can talk to trees. If he wanted to, he could just never do that, and he would be a normal kid.
Exactly.
I also want to point out that he doesn't control trees.
No, he has to, like, ask nicely.
Yes, he's asking trees for favors. He truly is Terra Man. The same way Aquaman can commune but not control fish, Sweeney can commune but not control with plants.
Yeah, he's, like, asking real nicely. That's, like, it.
But he also clearly has, like, the coolest power. Like, he tries to throw away some garbage at one point, and, like, a bush alley-oops it for him.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, alright, pretty neat.
It's kind of endearing, but it also, like, kind of flies in the face of that whenever a group of kids get superpowers, they immediately become, like, true companions.
Yeah.
We don't know how long it's been.
No, we don't know how long they've had these powers at this point. But they're still tinkering with them.
Like, they've had them long enough for Lila to allude to a previous incident where she had a hard time controlling her powers, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yes.
But they clearly are still discovering a lot about their powers, and Sweeney clearly doesn't care for them much yet.
So they
meet at, like, a warehouse.
Yeah, they're breaking into the giant toilet again.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think it's, like, their safe space to talk and, like, lair, because the factory's out of commission since the accident. I kind of got the impression that was going to just be their headquarters.
Okay. And you said this was 2006, right?
Yes.
Okay. When they walk into this place, it is very dark.
Yeah.
And the three of them go,
Lila.
Isn't that joke getting a little old?
For you, yes. For us, never.
Yeah, they clapper her.
are they making a clapper joke in 2006?
Yeah.
Would the target audience know what a clapper is in 2006?
I mean, yes, because it was something that was made fun of in cartoons a lot in the 90s and early 2000s.
This is true. The clapper is one of, like, the go-to references.
So I think it would still be a like, I think it actually became, like, a shorthand for old people at one point.
Because in 2006, I would have been in college.
Yeah.
And I know a joke I often did. Whenever we walked into a dark room, I would say, I got it, don't worry. And it was just very silly. So I guess, like, we knew what a clapper was.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if the age group this is aimed at would have known what a clapper was.
They clearly did. Like, they clearly were intended to.
Right, I understand that the people who wrote this cartoon know what a clapper is. I'm saying, like, I made a dated joke in 2006 with my college friends. Would someone a decade younger than me understand that joke? I would vote no.
I didn't get that hung up on it because I got the joke.
I know, but this is an 11-minute pilot and we have to talk about stuff.
I know, I didn't give it that much thought. I was like, oh, it's a clapper joke. Because clapper jokes in that time period were kind of common. I think it was, like I said, a shorthand for old people. Like someone's grandma would come in and go,
Yeah.
to turn off and on a light. And it was like, it was lame. Like, cool people didn't have the clapper.
Yeah. Comment below if you know what a clapper is.
Here comes the clapper. And so they talk about how Wade needs to manage his anger because Lila alludes to, like I was just saying, a point in time where she was teased about not having a date for the
Yes.
spring fling. And like, oh, you don't have a date for the dance, and she would get embarrassed and she would glow and she was embarrassed. So kind of implying like heightened emotion will contribute.
Yeah.
So I think that was a kind of the only clue that they've had their powers long enough that this is something they're alluding to as being in the past.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because we don't really have any keen insight into how long they've had it. We can glean that it hasn't been very long because she's the only, like, Wayne is still very much trying to figure out his powers.
Right.
In a way that I feel like would be figure-outable.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, this would be the first 20 minutes of the Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
Like, this would be over pretty quick.
We then have our heroes realize the problem that he flies when he's angry. So they're going to take him to anger management.
Yes.
So they take him to an actual anger management class, duct tape him to a chair and glue his feet to the floor so he can't fly away.
Yes.
And then Sweeney's like goes, by the way, class is in 1 hour. I guess to make him angry and have to face it. There is the element that the teacher would eventually arrive and see a child duct taped to a chair, but they don't address that.
Yeah, that's never brought up. So he has to channel his anger through the anger bunnies.
Yes, which is just like crumpling up paper and punching them.
Yeah, and the hour goes by fast and he's completely zen. Mm-hmm. To the point where the next morning his mom does the same kind of crap with the early morning chores.
Yeah.
And he responds like, don't worry, Mom, I'll clean the room and then I'll organize the garage and wash the dishes. And she tells him to stay in bed because she's clearly sick.
Yes.
We recently watched the episode of The Simpsons where we find out that, like, Ned Flanders has been suppressing anger his entire life.
Yes.
And it reminded me of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I want to point out that when his mom is like, you got to get up and clean, rather than seeing the mom, it is a close-up of her detailed butt.
Yes.
Because for some reason, Wayne's mom is very sexy. It's got like the cartoon crack line.
Yeah, and like it gets brought up that she's attractive.
Yeah.
It's very odd. Mm-hmm. So a little later that morning, a group of younger kids, maybe like 8 or 9, including Wayne's brother, put each other up to climbing a local sign. Like
Yes.
a local landmark, the Fred's Donut.
Yes. This is another donut show, another donut shop show to go along with Shangri-La Plaza.
Yep. 2025. All donuts.
All donuts.
And his little brother gets up there but cannot get down.
Yes, he gets dared to climb up there, and then once he's up there, he gets scared and he can't move, and he's frozen in fear.
The fire department cannot reach him.
Yes. Gotta say this. The fire department can't reach them with the ladder.
Yes.
So the fireman says,
Sorry, kid, our ladder won't reach. We're gonna have to plan B it.
What's plan B?
It's, the one after A and before C.
this should be added to the list of the effing jokes. Plan A didn't work, we're going to move on to plan B. What's plan B? Thinking of plan C. That is one of the oldest, specifically cartoon jokes I can think of.
Yes.
Like, that is the joke made before a transition. So I just wanted to point that out, and I'm going to keep a list of the effing jokes from now on.
Because we discussed it, and we discussed doing an episode on it, but they kind of come up organically.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that list. So they realize that only Wayne can help his brother with his power of flight.
Yes.
So they create a diversion.
Yes.
Lila goes, we need a nice shiny diversion. Wait, that's me. So she runs into a store and starts to glow. So that everyone goes, oh, the bagel shop is glowing. Because there's a bagel shop and a donut shop right next to each other.
Yeah.
So that she is diverting attention away from the donut shop and therefore from Wayne.
Yeah, also all the trees, point to it.
And then Sweeney and Nick try to make Wayne get mad.
With yo mama jokes.
You have bad hair!
When you wear those Arby pants, your butt looks big. Come on, hit me with your A material.
Your mama's so old, she welcomed Adam and Eve to the neighborhood!
Yo, mama's so ugly! Oh, I can't. Your Bob's actually very pretty.
Before I explain what happens next, I think we need to pause here to talk about how this cartoon looks.
Yes.
Each character is a series of black outlines and one color.
Yes.
The best way I could describe it is a Gorillaz music video that's actually a board game.
Okay.
Where, this is the orange character, this is the purple character, this is the green character. They look like board game assets in the style of Gorillaz.
I could definitely see that. And the art style, it's not a very cute style.
No.
It's animated in Flash. Surprise.
Yeah.
It's animated in Flash and looks like it.
Yeah, I find it quite ugly as a show. So Wayne is blue, Lila is purple, or I guess lilac.
Yeah.
Sweeney is red, and Nakin is yellow. Aaron, his name's actually Aaron. His name's Aaron, is Wayne's younger brother, who is green. He is hanging by this sign.
Yep.
When one of his shoes fall off.
Which is another trope. It's not one of the effing jokes, but it's a trope.
Yeah.
I, remember the movie Rockadoodle when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. The main female character, Goldie, is hanging from something and her shoes fall off. And she goes, my shoes! So, that's from one of the first movies I ever recall watching.
Rockadoodle?
Yes. Big Dom Bluth moment. And so that's, a very classic trope. It's we see it usually with women.
Well, it's also...
But there's a reason his shoe falls off.
Yes.
Plot-wise.
I was going to say, usually it's a great way to show height.
Yes.
It's showing something falling. But his shoe falls off, and Wayne sees it and goes,
This is one of my new shoes!
and he gets angry, and he flies up there.
Yes.
The shoe's green. It's clearly not one of Wayne's shoes.
That's
Everything Wayne has is blue. It would have been so easy to make the shoes blue to establish that they were Wayne's.
And So Wayne gets up and they get to the support beam.
Yeah.
And then his little brother conveniently passes out. So they fly to a billboard where the fire department can get them down.
Yes.
Which is odd. Mm-hmm. But his brother goes like, wow, how did we get here? And he goes like, it's time I told you. I can fly. And his brother's like, yeah, okay. I mean, I passed out in one location and woke up in a completely different one. But you know what? I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. Because for the plot, I don't believe you. That's kind of like how in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there's this whole thing of like, it's so traumatizing to be in Sunnydale that humans just like mentally edit out all the vampires they've dealt with.
Yeah.
And that's their reasoning for how nobody notices. This is a very similar kind of like, yeah, I just don't believe you because for the plot, we need to keep your powers a secret.
Exactly. So, that's pretty much the show.
Yes. It's like a weird, bad X-Men.
Yeah, like it's...
Or Fantastic Four.
It's definitely cute as a short and as a standalone short. I don't know how it fared. I think this could even do well in a Kablam-like setting where it's from week to week a short. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the show could carry an entire series on its own.
Well, I would say, like, I could see where you go next with this. Because Nakin was basically sidelined the entire episode. There was, like, one or two aspects where he, like, uses his X-ray vision to see something. But, like, it's never a crucial moment.
No,
It's a situation they could have got out of without him.
He is very underused.
Yeah. And, like, all the characters are kind of fun. Like, Wayne's kind of the main guy. Lila is kind of like the glue that holds them together and is like constantly like a voice of reason. Nakin's like a goofball. Sweeney's too cool, but he's cool but rude.
Yep.
And he's red. So like, I think there's a lot you can do with those dynamics to kind of tell this story. I do want to point out that Wayne is reverse Peter Pan.
He's not thinking happy thoughts, he's thinking angry thoughts.
Like, it made me think of, there's a scene in Hook where they're trying to convince try to help Robin Williams fly. And, like, he's in a catapult and they're holding up signs that say, like, candy, butterflies. And that doesn't work as a happy thought for an adult. But it's the same thing, but his thought is anger. He's an angsty flyer.
Yeah, and he's, Hulk me tuck. Ayy.
Ayo.
Ayy. So money.
I think there was actually a good amount of things you could do with these characters that makes it like a decent show. But it does remind me a bit of Alex Mack if this was being developed for Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Mack would have been 8 years old at this point, I think. I think Alex Mack is 98.
I want to say it's 96, using my...
It might
94.
94? Oh my god.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I remember Alex Mack being on when I was, like, very, very young.
For those of you who don't know, The Secret World of Alex Mack is about a young girl who is sprayed by a mysterious chemical. And as a result of being sprayed by this chemical, she gains super strength and the ability to melt into a puddle of mercury and travel around. And then I believe in later seasons she gets some sort of bubble power.
And she does glow when she's nervous.
Does she glow when she's nervous?
Yes.
I don't remember that. So, this has some nice similarities to The Secret World of Alex Mack. So
also, there were 34 tie-in books for Alex Mack.
For Alex Mack, like the extended universe of Alex Mack?
Like, the little paperback books they used to sell
Yeah.
for these shows, I did not realize there were 34 of them. I was less into those. I was more of a Shelby Woo girly myself.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see a deep dive on the secret world of Alex Mack. It is a secret after all. Just what happened and if there was an end game to that.
I had a little bit of a crush on Shelby Woo's guy friend.
Noah?
I was gonna say, if you know, you know. Noah wants to be an actor. Oh no!
In any case.
Oh, I'm a cartoon.
I could see why Nickelodeon would pass on this. What's your verdict?
Again, I think it's a very interesting Stay Tuned.
Yeah.
Because Stay Tuned, but as shorts. I don't think this becomes a full series on its own. 2 11-minute cartoons back to back for a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think this could be a lot of really fun 8-minute shorts in a Kablam or an Oh Yeah Cartoons or a Chalk Zone.
Yeah, that is kind of like the function of these cartoons. Because something I don't think I've ever actually asked you if you wanted to do this. So I'll just ask on the podcast because this is an interesting way to do it. I know of a cartoon that only ran 2 episodes that I love. However, it never was a series. It was a cartoon that ran parallel on Freakazoid, and it's called Lord Bravery. And I loved the 2 Lord Bravery cartoons.
Was it really only 2?
I believe there was only 2 because I remember looking up one of them on YouTube, and it said one of 2 Lord Bravery cartoons. So I always thought, like, maybe we should do Lord... Because I know Freakazoid ran more than 1 season, but, like, there were no more Lord Braveries. Maybe we could do Lord Bravery as kind of like a side episode.
I love Freakazoid.
Yeah, let us know if you want us to do a Lord Bravery episode. In any case, I really do like this show. I think it's interesting. I think it's a fun take on the superhero, and, like, it's a fun idea to be like, they have powers, but they're not burdened with purpose.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like they're trying to live their lives and do the best that they can. I do really like that. It is really ugly. I really don't enjoy how it looks.
It's that mid-late 2000s animation style. From, like, 2006 to, like, 2015, a lot of shows would kind of do this intentionally ugly cute style.
Yeah.
And it was never my favorite.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a show called Home Movies. I'm sure I've brought this up before. I love home movies. I own it all on DVD. The first season is in Squiggle Vision, which was a animation style made famous by Dr. Katz, where it is constantly just wiggling.
Yes.
And
it's miserable.
It's miserable to the point that season 2, it actually says on the box, now not in Squiggle Vision. And I loved the DVDs, and I would listen to them with commentary. And one of the voice actors on it is John H. Benjamin, who is Archer and Bob from Bob's Burgers. And in the first commentary, he's like, "Oh, to be honest with you, I've never watched an episode of Home Movies. The only episode I've ever really seen, I was at a Home Movies party. This was my first time sitting and like looking at it, and this hurts my face to experience." So maybe it finds its way later on, like Home Movies did. Home Movies ran 4 seasons. It's very ugly, but I think the concept is good, so I'm going to give it a stay tuned as well.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Stay Doomed. Programming note, we are inching our way towards episode 250.
That's wild.
We need to decide what we're going to do for 250. We want to do something special. I've seen a couple suggestions in the Discord, but if you have an idea of what you'd like to see for episode 250, feel free to leave it in the comments below, or while you're down there, find our Discord. You can click on that and join us there. Also, I said this in the update video, there's a chance of a possible hiatus coming in the future due to life events.
Yeah.
So if we go dark for a little bit, we apologize.
We will announce.
We will announce
that because we know roughly when this would be taking place.
Yes.
We are going to try not to go on hiatus.
Yes.
So we're kind of just opening the door that there may need to be a 2 or 3 week hiatus tops.
Yeah, just balls in the air, trying to keep them all in the air. After all of that, I have one last question, and that's, Laura, where can people find us?
You can email us at thestaydoomedshow@gmail.com or on Blue Sky at staydoomed.
And if you want to talk to me about Wayne's Hot Mom, I'm at TV's Noah on Blue Sky and Instagram.
If you want to go on a deep dive of all of the weird little books that used to tie into TV shows, especially in the 90s, I'm Laura Crane on Blue Sky. Until next time, stay doomed.